How goes it, YouTube? How are you guys? Well, as promised, I have a book right here, Doctor Faustus by a Christopher Marlowe. Well, as you all know, Cat Marlowe, or Kit Marlowe as he was called, was famous for so many things, but mostly his plays. And I believe that he was famous for an, an infamous pub incident, but I really can't really remember the name of the pub. But nonetheless, here we go. Not marching in the fields of Trasimene, where Mars did mate the warlike Carthagins, not sporting in the dalliance of love, in courts of kings where state is overturned, nor in the pomp of proud audacious deeds, intends our heavenly muse to vaunt his heavenly verse. Only this, gentles, we must now perform, the form of Faustus's fortunes, good and bad. And now to patient judgments we appeal, and speak for Faustus in his infancy. Now is he born of parents base of stock in Germany, within a town called Rode. At riper years to Wittenberg he went, whereas his kinsmen chiefly brought him up. So much he profits in divinity, that shortly was he graced with doctor's name, excelling all and sweetly can dispute in the heavenly matters of theology, till swollen with cunning of a self-conceit, his waxen wings did mount above his reach. Let's take an emphasis on these lines, shall we? He was born basically in a moderate state of he was just ordinary, and that the author is taking emphasis on Faustus's fortunes, and this is a foreshadow of his deeds and foreshadowing his fate in the end when the devil takes his soul, because he had made a deal for magical powers and for fame and for riches beyond his wildest imaginations. And basically, he was not only a physician, he had read books on divinity, which shows... Oh, another thing about this book is basically that people need to know is that reading the Bible, in my personal opinion, and not taking it to heart, or reading any book and not taking it to heart, makes you hypocrites and such. Faustus was, because he believed in scientific matters rather than his own virtues and what he was brought up with. It's very sad how some people can take something to heart but not really keep it. As such, Faustus was such a man let's read on. And melting heavens conspired his overthrow, for falling to a devilish exercise, and glutted now with learning's golden gifts, he surfeits upon cursed necromancy. Nothing so sweet as magic is to him, which he prefers before his chiefest bliss. And this the man that in his study wit sits. Act 1. Faustus in his study. Settle thy studies, Faustus, and begin to sound the depth of that thou wilt profess, having commenced by a divine in show, yet level at the end of every art, and live and die in Aristotle's works. Sweet analytics, 'tis thou hast ravished me, bene dicere, and est finis legis. Is to dispute well logic's chiefest end? Affords this art no greater miracle? Then read no more. Thou hast attained that end, a greater subject fitteth Faustus' wit. Bid on Chimeon farewell, in Gallion come. Be a physician, Faustus, heap of gold. Be eternalized for such wondrous cure. Summum bonum mechanam machinae sanitas. The end of physic is our body's health. Why, Faustus, hast thou not attained that end? Are not thy bills hung up as monuments, whereby whole cities have escaped the plague, and thousand desperate maladies have been cured? Yet art thou still but Faustus and a man, or being dead and raise them to life again, then this profession were to be esteemed. Physic, farewell, where's Justinian? A pretty case of paltry legacies. Such is the subject of the Institute, an universal body of law. This study fits a mercenary drudge, who aims at nothing but internal trash, to survive and elaborate for me. When all is done, divinity is best. Jerome's Bible Faustus views well. The reward of sin is death. That's hard. If we say that we have no sin, we deceive ourselves, and there is no truth in us. Why then, belike, we must sin, and so consequently die. Aye, we must die an everlasting death. What doctrine call you this? What will be shall be, divinity adjure. So Faustus thinks himself better than the law, better than divinity, and he is curious about magic. And just to sum it up, he believes in his works and the beliefs he has drawn upon throughout his life to be greater than that of his beliefs. And as such, Faustus, to this end, will die. Because what he lacks is his own virtues versus what he believes to be true. He is self-deceiving himself. And I would like to allude him to Lucifer in Paradise Lost. He thinks himself so great, but his arrogance becomes his end, and he starts believing in himself. Self-delusion, self-conceit. Well, it's great talking to you guys. well, anyways, gotta go. Hope you enjoyed my video. Thanks.